And I'm back. So, my friends, I've been talking about this for a while now. And what I've been talking about is DC quite a lot. And I don't understand what they're doing. It's very concerning. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's worrisome. It's a franchise that I really like. There's a bunch of characters that I really appreciate. I've always said it. I'm more of a DC guy as far as characters go than a Marvel guy. And I don't understand what they're doing. They made let's say, big announcements recently. But one is very concerning, and that's that they're planning to do a Superman reboot. So let's get into that. Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
Alright, so, like I said, a lot to talk about with DC. They made a lot of news recently, and not all of it is good. Like I said, most of it kind of concerning. But before we get into all that stuff, let me just give you a quick reminder that any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Also, I'm streaming Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on YouTube and on Twitch at 8 p.m. You can find me there at Super Dario World if you want to join me, be a part of the chat and stuff like that. Like, what's up, Mob Nasty? Thank you for joining me. Also, kind of an important announcement. Next week, I will only have one live show. So only one. I'm going out of town on Wednesday, so I'll be off for the weekend. So the only show that I'll have next week is Tuesday. So Tuesday, only one show live if you want to join me and be a part of the chat. Tuesday at 8 p.m. on YouTube and on Twitch at Super Dario World. The rest of the days, they're going to still continue being wildcards because that's just kind of the way I roll. My life, kind of a weird schedule from time to time, so sorry, that's kind of the way it has to go. And like, I wish I could do like something a little bit more steady, but unfortunately, this is the best I could do for now. Anyway, let's get into it because there's a lot of stuff to go through, and most of it not really that great. So let's start off with something, funny, at least funny for me. So actress Ruby Rose, you might remember her from the terrible TV show Batwoman, at least from the first season, has made a statement recently, and she's opened up to the possibility of reprising the role of Batwoman, Kate Kane, in the future. Now, I find this hysterical because back when she announced that she wasn't going to be a part of the show anymore, I said, this chick's not going to get a job anymore, at least not easily. Because when you're the lead in a show and you quit because you don't have the mental fortitude to finish out the show, things don't tend to go well for your career. So it looks like she's finally figured that out. And now she's like, but hire me, please. No, I'm sorry. And so this is a statement that she made. I mean, it's obviously it's not that desperate, but, they asked her. And so speaking with a website, here's what she said. I'm going to read the whole thing. I mean, I'm obviously moving on to other roles, as I think I've done about three. I've done 3 films since, I would totally do it. I don't think it would serve the story because I think building the new Batwoman is more important than going too far into Kate Kane. But of course I would. I would absolutely do anything they wanted as far as that. Haha. There's literally, it says laughs there. I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've watched a couple of episodes, and I think how they're handling it is beautiful. I think it's her time to shine. So it's a very nice way of not saying that the show sucks. Now, I haven't seen the second season, but I saw the first season, and the show sucked. It was really beyond boring, terribly made. It was stupid. I haven't seen the second season. Like, honestly, I didn't even finish the first season. On the other hand, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard that Superman and Lois is pretty good. I haven't seen it because I like the CW shows. I like binge watching them when they're all at once, so that I can, just watch the whole story. I mean, I guess you guys understand how binge watching works. The point is, yeah, I don't think you're gonna come back, and I don't think she would come back. I think it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, please, dudes, in the future, hire me, or if there's ever like an opportunity for crossover, please hire me, because she says she's done 3 movies. Have you guys heard of any of these movies? Like any? I mean, we had a pandemic. We would have been desperate for pretty much anything that comes out. And have you heard anything at all that's come out or heard? No, because nobody cares anymore. So her career spiraling down the drain, at least in my humble opinion. And, she's trying to get a little bit of attention there. So that I found that funny. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I found it pretty funny. Next, we had an announcement for casting of the role of Supergirl for the new Flash movie. And now this one was very weird. So they've cast a girl named Sasha Cale or Sasha Calle. I'm not exactly sure. And there's a lot of concerns for this particular casting, mainly because she looks nothing like the traditional Supergirl. Also because she really looks nothing like Henry Cavill. But I mean, we'll get to that in a minute. But to me, there's something a little bit more concerning than that. Now, supposedly, they've cast her for the Ezra Miller-led Flash movie, and the way that I understand. Well, first off, I don't understand what Supergirl's doing in that Flash movie, because if I'm not mistaken, it's based on Flashpoint Paradox, and I don't remember Supergirl being in Flashpoint Paradox at all. So it's weird already for that. Casting Supergirl makes no sense. Second, the only reason why it could maybe make sense is because it's going to be a whole bunch of different universes, and and this is going to be a parallel universe Supergirl, and that's why everything's different. Okay, I can understand it, but still, this casting Supergirl is concerning because it seems like they're just completely and totally phasing out the whole Henry Cavill stuff and that particular Superman. So that she's probably going to be the alternate version where she came first and Kal-El did it and something like that. So I don't like that immediately. I get what they're doing it because again, I'll get to the Henry Cavill stuff out of it. It was just weird, and it's a bit concerning to what this movie is going to be because I thought it was going in one direction. Now I'm very confused. Like Ben Affleck's coming back, but Cavill isn't. It's weird, man. I was very excited for this movie, but again, I'll address this a little bit more. Wait, you know what? I'll just go into it now. Like first off, let's talk a little bit about Justice League before we go into Superman. So, the Justice League, very confusing because because the director, Zack Snyder, has talked about the movie a little bit since, it comes out next, Wednesday, the 18th? So it's coming out next week. Everybody's excited for it, at least the people who care. I care, and so I'm excited for it. I want to see it. But a lot of stuff has come out that's kind of weird. First off, Zack Snyder says that there's going to be an epilogue chapter for the Justice League, but he also said that there's going to be it's going to end in a massive cliffhanger. So, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. All right, so he says there's going to be an epilogue chapter, but before he said it's going to end in a massive cliffhanger, that means that they're going to leave you hanging. And before he said that this is a one and done, so that he has no plans on continuing it. So if you have no plans on continuing the story, why are you being a dick and ending it with a cliffhanger? And and if there's an epilogue chapter at the end of the movie, is that going to close the cliffhanger thing? I don't know. I'm very confused. Or is the epilogue thing at the end the cliffhanger? I don't understand. And if there's no plans to continue with this in the future, then what the fuck is happening in the whole Flash movie? I'm very, very confused with this whole thing. I've said this a million times. DC's a fucking mess. It's a mess. Their cinematic universe is a mess. I've been trying to make sense of it for what feels like years now. Actually, it's been years now. It doesn't make any sense. They make a couple of good movies, and then they make complete and total garbage with Wonder Woman, and now this makes no sense whatsoever. I'm hoping that after I see the Justice League, things start getting a little bit clearer, but I don't understand it. And I'll get a little bit more into this because Zack Snyder actually said a few other things. He said that he wasn't getting a paycheck for the Justice League, which is weird, but I'll read you his whole... this was an interview with Vanity Fair, and so I'll just read you the whole statement. I was like, that's a no. That's a hard no. And they're like, but why? You can just put up the rough cut. I go, here's why. Three reasons. One, you get the internet off your back, which is probably your main reason for wanting to do this. Two, you get to feel vindicated for making things right, I guess, on some level. And then three, you get a shitty version of the movie that you can point at and go, see, it's not good anyway. So maybe I was right. I was like, no chance. I would rather just have the Snyder Cut be my mythical unicorn for all time. This is then they were asking him about making it, and then afterwards he added, I believe, this is when they were asking if he considered releasing. I'm sorry, I guess I should have mentioned this, when he was if he would consider releasing the raw footage, and that's the reasons why he said no. And the reason why he wasn't going to get paid, says, well, this is a statement like, I'm not getting paid. I didn't want to be beholden to anyone, and it allowed me to keep my negotiating powers with these people pretty strong. When you think about the catharsis of it, if I was a potter, I would have made some pottery to look for some way through this. But I'm a filmmaker, so you get this giant movie. So interesting stuff there from Zack Snyder. Honestly, a part of me respects this. There's still got to be some kind of money that he makes from this deal, I'm assuming, but him not taking a paycheck for it, I respect it, especially because it keeps him in a strong negotiating position, and honestly, it gives him freedom to do whatever he wants, which is good, which is what honestly people wanted. Whether it's good or bad, we wanted to see exactly his vision for this movie, and so good for him. Honestly, it's probably a buttload of work and a massive headache for him, but he did it his way. And I respect people who do things his way. And so, again, this is where I'm torn with DC. This sounds like a good thing. This sounds like an exciting thing. This makes me want to go like, hey, that movie, I really want to see it. I really want to see this movie. Then they just completely just take a dump in your mouth and you don't understand why. And so now, actually, I'll drop one more little piece of news before I move on to that. There's also there's hints that director James Gunn, who is currently directing Suicide Squad and who people know him mainly for the Guardians of the Galaxy, there's hints that he might be open or willing or that he will be working on another DC project after Suicide Squad. And so far, everybody seems to believe that it's probably going to be a Harley Quinn thing, which a part of me is like, okay, that'd be cool. Because he has the dark sense of humor of Harley Quinn, and it's about time that we actually get something good with Harley Quinn. Like, I would, Margot Robbie's performance has been great as Harley Quinn. So if we get a good filmmaker to do a good movie, that'd be fantastic. Hopefully that's what Suicide Squad's going to be, but we'll see. It's still, at least it has potential, and a solo Harley Quinn movie made by James Gunn, pretty fun stuff. I'm excited for it. The thing that I'm concerned though, if he ends up making a Harley Quinn movie, he said, or if he gets hired to make a Harley Quinn movie, he said specifically that no character would be safe in the Suicide Squad. So if he's going to be making a Harley Quinn movie, that kind of makes it, maybe will make him a little biased towards not killing said Harley Quinn. Of course, he could make a prequel something with Harley Quinn, but I don't see it happening. So, because, not a lot of interesting stuff has happened to Harley Quinn before, at least not that I can think of in this particular timeline. So, and anything that he would make beforehand would require him to bring the Joker back, which I don't think they're going to do. I'm not sure Jared Leto's going to do it. So, I don't know. Could be fun, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, this is a bummer because it means that Harley Quinn is probably going to be safe. And honestly, I would have really respected if they would have killed off Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. It would suck because, like I said, Margot Robbie's been one of the few bright spots of the DC cinematic universe. But still, it would have been like that. That would be subverting expectations. So there you go. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes here. So it's been confirmed that this ain't her. Where's my? There you go. It's been confirmed. First off, it was announced a few weeks ago that Henry Cavill would not be returning as Superman. He would not don the cape again. Now, honestly, I did not care much about this particular announcement because to me it seemed, let's say, actors change their minds. Some people say like, I'll never do that again, and then they end up doing it again. Like Chris Evans right now is in negotiations to probably play Captain America again. Because why? Why? Because money talks. And there have been a lot of mess ups in the DC cinematic universe. There's a lot of bad things in the cinematic universe and the DC cinematic universe. Not one of them is called Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill's performance as Superman has been great. Even if it's like the dark, gritty Superman, people don't seem to like the darker, gritty Superman. I do, because it's a very different Superman, and his performance has been legit. Like, the dude transformed himself to become Superman, and I respect that. He's respected the character. He's respected everything about him, and he did it his own way. He did it the Zack Snyder way, which I've liked. Unfortunately, people want the smiley, happier Superman. I like the darker Superman. Whatever, it doesn't matter. That's individual taste. So they said that a few weeks ago. I didn't believe it. I thought maybe it's like a negotiating thing, whatever. Or if the money's good enough, they'll come back. Or if they realize, hey, you know what? Actually, we had a pretty good actor that everybody liked for this character. Maybe we should keep him. And now news has come down. I believe it came down last week, or maybe a little bit afterwards. I don't know. That there's a Superman reboot in development at Warner Brothers, with being produced by J.J. Abrams and being written by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now, I looked into this Ta-Nehisi Coates because apparently he's the writer, and I don't know if you guys know this. I kind of consider writers to be important for movies, and the dude has never written a movie before. Well, let me correct that. He wrote one movie, but it's not it's nowhere near close to being a superhero movie, and I think it's a documentary. Which, why do you need a writer for documentary? I mean, of course, first off, documentaries, they're also fiction, most of them, because they have a bias, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't trust documentaries for the most part. Anyway, and that's because I worked on documentaries, by the way. So there you go. Anyway, but he does have experience writing some comic books. The comic books that he's written some Black Panther comic books and some Captain America comic books. I haven't read them, but notice that nowhere there is anything DC related. And like I said, he doesn't have experience writing superhero movies, action movies, adventure movies. And this is the guy you're hiring to write a Superman movie? Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a big difference between Captain America and Superman. There's a big difference. Actually, it could be a little bit closer, but no, completely different. There's a big difference between writing Black Panther and writing Captain America. There's a big difference between writing Black Panther and writing Superman. There's a big difference between writing Superman and anybody else. All right? It's a difficult character to write because he is too powerful. And you have to find newer and creative ways to make him interesting. Superman, like I said, if I had to pick a superhero to write, and I get a pick between Superman and Batman, I go Batman all day because it's way easier to make Batman interesting. Superman is difficult. The best way to make Superman interesting is make him the villain. It's worked out fantastic. Most of my favorite my favorite Superman storylines is when he's the bad guy. It's great. He's fucking terrifying. And so, a reboot here. First off, I don't like the reboot. J.J. Abrams, I'm fine with. I don't like that they hired somebody that I've never heard of to be a writer, but whatever. Sometimes, magic hits or whatever. But the thing that's really concerning here is, what the fuck does this mean for the future of the DCCU? None of it makes any sense whatsoever. And I'll go through it. So, like I said, Justice League was supposed to be a one and done, but now they're saying that it's going to, for Zack Snyder, and he's going to close out, and he's not even going to take any money, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to bow out because I want to finish it because I couldn't finish it before, and I can't allow people to think that I made a crappy movie. So, all right, he's getting his swan song there. He's closing out. He's closing that particular chapter with some grace. Then it turns out that thing's going to have a cliffhanger ending. Then it turns out that it's going to have an extra scene at the end. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Extra scenes at the end tend to lead to something else. They tend to hint at the next movie. So it's like, are you going to continue this fucking universe or not? Then we have the Flash movie. And the Flash movie, you're going to have Batman back in there. And so it's going to be Ben Affleck. And now all of a sudden it turns out that Supergirl's going to be there, but Superman isn't. So it has to be an alternate universe, right? But if you're going to show an alternate universe, then you have to show this universe first in order for it to make any fucking sense. And what the fuck are you going to keep doing forward after that? And now the extra kicker, you got the Joker franchise, which apparently they still want to keep doing like its own thing. And you got the new Batman movie coming out with Robert Pattinson. How the fuck are all these things going to fit together? Is the new Superman reboot going to be a part of the new of the new Robert Pattinson Batman? Is that how this is gonna work? And is the Ezra Miller Flash movie going to point everything in that direction? It's going to be like, all right, we were here in the Zack Snyderverse, and now we're going to drastically use the Flashpoint paradox to go into the Robert Pattinson one. And then what the fuck's up with Supergirl? Is Supergirl going to continue because of that universe? But is Supergirl going to be introduced before there's actual Superman movie? That makes no fucking sense neither. None of this makes any sense. Like, I could maybe understand a few things. And then afterwards, well, what does this mean for Wonder Woman? Well, Wonder Woman doesn't really matter because the director said that she doesn't care about continuity in the universe, so it could be whatever the fuck she wants. And so it doesn't really matter. Also, the movie sucked. And what does this mean for Aquaman? Aquaman was fun. It wasn't a great movie. It was a cheesy movie, but I enjoyed it because it was a cheesy movie, and that's exactly what I expected. Cheesy superhero movie, and it was fine. It was funny. Shazam was really good. Was actually really funny. It had a lot of heart. And so what's going to happen there? Because there was kind of like a hint that Superman was going to be a part of it, and now we don't know what the fuck's happening anywhere. It's very confusing. I don't like it. I don't like being confused. I like clear, definitive answers to things, and so far we've got nada. I don't get it. To me, this seems stupid. People liked okay. Regardless of how you feel about the movies, I haven't heard a single complaint about Henry Cavill as Superman. Not a single one. And I talk to people about this a lot. You know, it's not usually that I started, but people like talking to me about these things a lot. You know, because I've on the air, on the show that I work for, Rock 105.3, the morning show, I make a list of what I thought were the best movies of the particular year. And I defended Batman v Superman, the extended cut. The extended cut. I need to be very specific. The extended version, because it's rated R and it's way better and you better watch it. I highly recommend it. And a lot of people are like, no, the movie sucked. And they gave me 1,000,001 complaints as to why they didn't like Batman v Superman. Not a single one of them was Henry Cavill. Not A1. Actually, they didn't really complain about Ben Affleck either, because the performances were fine. They had other issues with the movie, and they didn't see the extended version. But they complained about Jesse Eisenberg. Not A1. And trust me, I'm not one to back down from an argument, especially if I'm bored. So I've argued this 1,000,000 times with 1,000,000 people. Nobody has ever complained about Henry Cavill. Most people like the guy. Hey, most people love the guy. The dude's a dedicated actor. He's a giant nerd. He's the king of the nerds. All right? So making a reboot is no guarantee that they're going to get rid of Cavill. But making an announcement the month before and now announcing a reboot, kind of not a good sign. And by not a good sign, I mean it's probably that's the final nail in the coffin, at least for me, that it's true. It's not going to be coming back. And it makes no sense. None of it whatsoever. Because that means that you're all right, if you're doing a hard reboot, fine. Like, okay, Robert Pattinson, Batman, fine. You're doing something there. It was a hard reboot. I understand it. Or maybe it was like a super prequel. Who knows what the fuck's happening. But if you're going to do a reboot with Superman and going to be introducing him in that universe, fine. The issue is that you also have the Flashpoint movies that apparently are still moving forward. You have a Wonder Woman movie going forward, and you have you have Shazam moving forward, and I think you have Aquaman 2 moving forward. You have all these other movies. This particular timeline is moving in this direction. You have the new one you have the new Batman that's going in this direction. You have a Superman reboot nobody knows where the fuck it's gonna go, and you have the Joker that's going in. Who the fuck knows where that's gonna go? Because they're saying that they want to make it like a artistic piece about other characters in Arkham. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And like I said a few weeks ago, if there was a reason to fire the guy who's in charge of all this, it's this. Because it's a it's a gigantic hot mess. It's a piece of garbage. Nobody makes sense here. And guess what? It's not that hard. That's the most annoying thing here. It's not that hard. You think that the people who write comic books, who created a multiverse of comic books and found a way to make them all fit and then within the same world, could figure this shit out. You would think, especially when it's they made what? Let me see. You got Man of Steel, you got Man v Superman, you got Justice League, you got Shazam, you got Aquaman, you got Wonder Woman, 2 Wonder Woman movies. You've made 7 movies, and you still haven't been able to make them fit together. And you canceled the Batman, and who knows what the hell is going to happen with all the other ones. It's not that hard. Even one movie a year, all you had to do is keep. Oh, you also made Suicide Squad. I'm sorry. Okay, so I forgot this about. I wanted to forget about the Suicide Squad, and I wanted to forget about Harley Quinn. So 9. All right, this thing's been going on for over 10 years. I think. Let me just double check when the Man of Steel came out, because I don't want to lie here. Oh, 2013. Okay, so the first one came out in 2013. My bad. I was mistaken. So it's been going on for less than 10 years, but let's say 8. 8 years. You know, I'll be generous, because, well, they did start production before that, but let's say 7 years. So it's been going on for 7 years, and you still haven't been able to be like, hey, director, don't do that in the fucking movie because it's going to fuck up all the other ones. Or like, hey, how about if we don't do that? How about if we just keep going in this direction? But I want to do this. No. Fuck you. I'm paying you. We're going in that direction. But creative, artistic liberties. No. Go fuck yourself. We're going in that direction. This is how this is going to work, because otherwise you're going to fuck up all my other movies that don't make any fucking sense anymore. Now, unfortunately, if one of those movies sucks, it could fuck up the entire train. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you try to change the story halfway through. That's what happens when you want to make a rated R movie a PG-13 movie, which happened with Batman v Superman, which happened with the Suicide Squad, and still, it looks like at least they learned their lesson there. It looks like they're like, okay, we're going to make this rated R now. It's going to be, yeah, all right, fine, whatever. We'll make it a little bit more action-packed, because it turns out that if we're doing a dark, gritty universe, we should at least make it rated R. Fine. But come on, dude. Get your shit together. And how, you know what? How are these people not fired? Like, I don't get it. Like honestly, these must be like amazing salespeople, because they're capable of doing a shitty ass job that most people hate because it doesn't make any sense, and they still keep their jobs. Like, the DC Cinematic Universe has been the laughing stock of the superhero franchises for a while now. Even though they have some good movies, but they're the laughing stock. All right, they are the, not only like the ugly redheaded stepchild, they're like the what is it? Like the troll that lives under the bridge compared to DC. Compared to Marvel. I don't get it. The roadmap is there. It's beyond embarrassing at this point. Also, let me just check the chat here a little bit, because I'm done with this. I'm done. Like, I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know what to say. I don't understand how you can have stories that are already written. In fact, you could argue that you already have the storyboards, and you still find a way to fuck it up. If you know what, if you just did exactly what was in the comic book, frame by frame, I won't think there's a single person out there who'd be like, how dare you do the exact same thing? That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. If you do something that's completely original and out of the box, fine. All right? It's a risk. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. There's going to be people who like it. There's going to be people who don't. I tend to appreciate it as long as you don't change. I don't like certain types of change. That's when you change the core of a story, and that's or usually when you make one story crappier. So if the story was really, really good here, and then you want to change it over here and makes it shitty, that's what I don't like. But whatever, let me just do the chat a little bit here, because I'm done. I'm done with this stupid shit. Anyway, Torres, Axley Jones, here's a quote, like, each will do their part, we'll combine them later. Yeah, that's been the DC mentality so far, and it's stupid. Turns out it's not a great way to build a puzzle, guys. Not a great way. Next, teamwork. Well, if Henry Cavill is not going to play Superman, maybe he'll get a job in the MCU. Honestly, he should. Who would... Ooh, that's an interesting topic. Who can Henry Cavill play in the MCU? There's... What's his name? Adam something from Suicide Squad? No, not Suicide Squad. Guardians of the Galaxy. Adam... It's not Black Adam. I'll think about it. Because that might be interesting. Where would I cast Henry Cavill? Interesting. Adam Warlock. That was That was gonna bug me. He'd be an interesting Adam Warlock, but I'll keep thinking about what other casting choice I would like for him. I forgot to do this. Before I get out of here, any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me at Dario the Show on Instagram and at Super Dario World. Streaming on YouTube and on Twitch Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 8 p.m. Or aiming for it. At Super Dario World. Next week I will only be doing Tuesday because I'm heading out of town on Wednesday, and so Tuesday, 8 p.m. my only live show. If you want to join me, if you want to join me in the chat, I really appreciate it. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time.